Boond Soch की ttalk train of thought with a series of an episode with Brigadier Dr. Mrinal Nag. It's an excellent insights what we are getting for ttalk audience. He has been in Indian Army for 27 years, part of an corporates and the multinational organizations, and also part of an international education. So welcome again to this ttalk with Boond Soch.
Thank you, sir.
Now, since you have visited various universities abroad like Oxford, Harvard, Yale, and different universities like, how do you see the education abroad and in India like?
So the basic difference I found is abroad they talk about global scenario. They talk about global challenges. So when I met a boy in Stern School of Business School in New York, I asked him, after you finish your course, what you're going to do? Oh, I'm going to establish an office that will be in 84, 85 countries. So they talk about global stuff. And what happens is when they talk about global challenges, they give the case studies of global challenges. They study the recent industry-related case studies. Their knowledge level is much more. We are still stuck with a theoretical type of knowledge. We give more importance to theoretical knowledge, and people mug up their question papers and they pass the exam, but they do not have actual knowledge. They do not have practical knowledge. Abroad, they give more importance on PBL type of learning, project-based learning. So if you have an assignment, if you have project-based, then your learning is much more. In every assignment, research is involved. In Indian education, research is much less, and this must increase. If we don't do research, then we do not learn new things. And in education, this has now become very, very important.
Now, if you see, like, as for the education system in India is concerned, like, I think it's improving day by day. And I think the policy which recently they're talking about, I'm sure the transformation is going to be there. But still, many Indian students, they prefer to study abroad. So what are your views on that?
Sir, basically, when you talk about abroad, when you talk about New York, London, or Paris, then people love to go because that's a foreign country, advanced country, open society, and away from parents, they probably think they'll enjoy a little more social life. At the same time, they also know if somebody passes out from Harvard or LSE, London School of Economics, or Oxford or Yale, they will automatically get a job which will put them in a very, very high profile, higher plane of career. So there is that it becomes a takeoff point. Once you got an admission in Harvard or Yale or in Stanford or in Oxford, is a takeoff point of the career, which doesn't happen in India. We are still struggling for employment. We are still struggling to give employment to our people. In our education policy is changing. Of course, it is changing for good. New education policy is also very good. But still in our country, engineers, the percentage of engineers who get job is much less. Percentage of MBA who get job is much less, because our education system is probably still very old, very bookish, very theoretical.
Oh, I see. And in fact, also if you see in education, the major trends, you have seen the courses are shifting from focusing on the specific functional area. It's going to multidisciplinary approach like. So, what do you say on that?
To some extent I agree, but to some extent I also disagree, because when we talk about, say, MBA, and in MBA, the major verticals are marketing, finance, HR, operations, systems, etc. So if you're not a specialist on HR, if you're not a specialist on finance, if you're not a specialist on operations, you won't know what to do in an organization when you are given a task. So you need to be a specialist. At the same time, when you reach up to the levels of CEO, Chief Executive Officer, then you cannot say, I do not understand finance because I'm an HR man. I do not understand marketing because I'm a finance man. At that level, bucks stop there at your level. So you have to have the knowledge. So this multiple angles of giving knowledge of multiple subjects also very, very important. And there are some institutes who are already doing it, educating people with multiple knowledge of multiple subjects, but still I would say one has to learn a specific line, take up specific line, a specialist on his line, and then gather knowledge of other subjects.
Okay, and now in fact, when we talk in terms of an VUCA world, there's a lot of an uncertainty which is there. Like, how the skills tend to have changed, like.
As you know, sir, the VUCA, that is volatility, uncertainty, and complexity, and ambiguity, also chaotic at times. This has come from American Army, from a military institute, because the world is like this. Entire business and because of the globalization, the industry and the corporate are all go global. And entire globe now is undergoing a lot of uncertainty. Western Asia is disturbed. Ukraine war is going on. Taiwan is on the verge of tension. India has border tension always. So Europe, America, everybody is involved. So we cannot have a peaceful time. We cannot have peaceful business. Our supply chains are disturbed. Our productions are disturbed. The fluctuation of the market and the currency is happening. The expenditure of all countries have gone up because the crude oil, now Russia and OPEC countries are playing their own games, in the sense own policies which may not be suitable to all countries. So all these uncertainties are making business very uncertain. So skill sets today are required is we have to learn the modern skill set. We have to know, we have to learn to run the organization with minimum resources. We have to know, we have to cut cost of our production so that we can have a little more margin of profit. We have to improve our supply chain. We have to cut short our inventory so that we survive. And all these are required, all skills are required. Also, we have to bring in AI, artificial intelligence, in a big way so that we can cut costs, we can reduce manpower and use manpower somewhere else. And these are very, very important in today's business scenario, keeping in view the VUCA and VUCA world.
Okay, so even if we'll see, like normally when we talk in terms of universities also, like the courses which are there are still like we follow that same course which are not changed for 10 years and the same subjects what we are teaching, like. So under those circumstances, I'm sure like when we talk in terms of artificial intelligence, the things may change faster, and where whatever the jobs which they are doing now will become redundant. So under what circumstances, what the current generation should do, like?
Excellent question, sir. And this actually, it concerns all of us. We are all concerned because, as you know, as internet came in, as electricity came in 1870, handlooms were shifted to power looms, people lost jobs. There were a lot of strike in UK and all that areas. 69, internet came with the IR, Industrial Revolution 3, with internet, computers, clerks lost their jobs. Now artificial intelligence coming, the drivers will lose their job because all driverless cars are coming. On everywhere, there's a lot of people who will be unemployed. But the best thing is, internet came, clerks lost their jobs. But see the service industry, boom of service industry and infotech industry, the employment has gone up many, many times. So I'm sure when artificial intelligence come, I'm sure the employability, where now we are a little scared because even in manufacturing base of the manufacturing units, the robots have taken over, replaced the laborers. But things will happen, artificial intelligence may come, but I'm sure the avenues, opportunities and avenues somewhere else will open up and employment will go up. In fact, there are some research going on. Jack Ma has said very recently that in times to come, human being will be working probably 3 to 4 hours, 4 days a week. Artificial intelligence will be working for us. So human brain will be controlling artificial intelligence for our own advantage. So hopefully things will happen. Hopefully artificial intelligence will prove to be very, very beneficial to all of us.
Good, great. It's an excellent insights on the educations, and maybe down the line when we talk in terms of an employability, the things may change. Always we have seen the challenges at every aspects of our life, and I'm sure with the artificial intelligence and the robot taking place, still there's a space for as far as the employability is concerned, which is there. In fact, it's an great interesting insights from Brigadier Dr. Mrinal Nag on this ttalk ek Boond Soch ki. Just go to www.ttalk.net, subscribe, like the channel as much as you can, and also catch up with Brigadier Dr. Mrinal Nag on our next episode of ttalk ek Boond Soch ki. So thanks a lot for being part of the show.
Thank you
very
so much.
much.
Thank you.
God bless.